A good afternoon to everyone who's joining us for this afternoon's session on the MSCA Staff Exchanges. My name is Susanne Ranzovaso. I am part of the EURAXESS worldwide team here in Southeast Asia, and I'm joined by my lovely colleague, Dr. Jenny Elmacco. She's going to say a few words in a minute as well. We're both part of the global EURAXESS worldwide team. This is an initiative that is dedicated to supporting not just mobile researchers who are interested in working with European collaborators or perhaps spend part of their research career in Europe, but we're also your facilitators when it comes to setting up mutual beneficial research collaborations with Europe and also with global partners. EURAXESS worldwide is presented in 8 locations across the globe. We have a fantastic network made up of thousands and thousands of researchers, but also research institutions, companies, industry players, NGOs that are all working together to build partnerships to find solutions to today's global challenges. Now, Jenny and I are here in Southeast Asia, and we're putting on these events like the one today to inform you about the opportunities that Europe has on offer for you to be part of the European research area. And today, as Jenny will tell us in a second, we're looking at a very interesting funding program. It is the MSCA, the Marie Skłodowska-Curie Actions Staff Exchanges. The call is currently open, so it's a very opportune time for us to talk about this opportunity. And we have great panelists invited. And yes, we hope that this is an opportunity that you can explore to work with European partners. And I'll hand over to Jenny now. Thank you, Jenny.
Thank you so much, Susanna. So good afternoon from our side of the world and good morning to one of our speakers. I will add myself in the pin here so that Susanna and I can see each other on screen. Thank you so much for joining us. Before I introduce to you our resource speaker and about the reason why we are gathered here today, I'd like to give the floor to one of the co-organizers of this session. And of course, her unit has been very instrumental in our growing partnership, this strong partnership with Thailand. Please help me welcome to the room, Dr. Wurajit Setapun. Dr. Sai, please take the room for us and introduce also your team. Thank you.
Hi, thank you so much, Jenny. On behalf of the Program Management Unit for Human Resources and Institutional Development, Research and Innovation, our short name is PMU-B, and we are the funding agency under the Ministry of Higher Education, Science, Research and Innovation. And so our goal is to promote research excellence and also promote capacity building human resources, such as researcher like yourself, and also move forward for the researcher for utilization for the program that is the exchanges and focusing on industry. We also have a few programs that can also support industry and also the researcher as well as other frontier research program. So we're super excited to be a part and be collaborating with EURAXESS and to promote various programs that all of our agencies can help collaborate. So with me that we'll be discussing, we have Dr. Rina Pattaramanon. She's the head of the Agile team for PMU-B, and she will be giving you more information regarding to our exchange program, as well as our frontier research program for this session. So thank you to everyone that joined in for this info session, and we hope that this info session would provide some benefit to you and also give inspiration and to look forward to participating in the future research collaboration and exchanges. Okay, so thank you so much, Jenny.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sai, for that. And we are really happy to have PMU-B as a partner, as always, and we are looking forward to what we can do more, especially under the program of the MSCA. So my name is Jen. I've been introduced by my colleague Susanna. I am a regional coordinator also of EURAXESS, but I am also one of the NCPs or the national contact points for the Marie Skłodowska-Curie action. So thank you for joining us in this virtual info session. So I think some of you have probably joined our other info sessions on the Marie Skłodowska-Curie actions. So this info session is particularly unique because this session especially is inviting non-academic businesses, entrepreneurs, chambers of commerce, and alongside, of course, researchers and members of research institutions. So as you know, the Marie Skłodowska-Curie action schemes encourage also the non-academic sectors to get involved to turn results into industry-ready, marketable innovations. So everybody can really be a part of the MSA, and that's the great thing about it. But in order to be able to accomplish our goals for this afternoon, I am pleased to introduce to you our resource speaker. She is a project advisor at the European Research Executive Agency. She works in the unit in the environment panel in charge of the MSCA Staff Exchanges. And previously, and I've actually Googled her, because she has a very interesting career also in the diplomatic sector. And she has worked for 10 years at the European Commission as a project manager at the EC Directorate General in charge of international partnerships. So who else best to talk to us about how we can collaborate more efficiently and more strategically here in the region with Europe. So please help me welcome our resource speaker, Nancy DZOKOTO-POMENYA. Nancy, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you very much, Jenny. I'm very glad to be here with you, and thanks for your kind introduction. So as Jenny said, my name is Nancy DZOKOTO-POMENYA, and I'm working at the European Research Executive Agency. And most particularly, for 15 years about, I was working in the international partnership, more specifically with Africa-EU relations. So indeed, international partnerships are really essential for the European Union, including the one with Asian countries. So I'm very glad to be here today. I'm going to deliver a presentation on the staff exchanges, which is a very interesting scheme that aims to support research and innovation and to connect the academic and the non-academic stakeholders. So with no further ado, I think we can start with the presentation. You can go to the next slide. All right, so let's start. The presentation will be delivered in 3 sections. The first one will be about the policy context. I'll set the scene and explain you what are our policy objectives. Then you'll have a presentation on the key features of our program, of the staff exchanges, and to end, we will have a very concrete presentation on how to apply, because in fact, this is the main objective of today. It's really to encourage you to apply to our scheme. So let's start by the policy context. So the staff exchanges is part of the MSCA, the Marie Skłodowska-Curie Action Program, and it is under the pillar of excellent science. So with the MSCA Skłodowska-Curie actions, we are equipping researchers with new knowledge and skills through mobility and training. And this includes also exchanges with non-academic stakeholders. Can continue. Okay, so as you can see, the MSCA has 5 main actions: the postdoctoral fellowships, the doctoral networks, the MSCA and citizens, the co-fund, and the staff exchanges. The staff exchanges is one of the most business-oriented programs that we are having, and it consists mostly in exchanges. So we really favor mobility, and through mobility, we want to create synergies, partnerships, and long-lasting collaboration. Okay, let's go now to the core of our business, which is the staff exchanges program. So the staff exchanges has 4 main objectives, as you can see. First, I want to highlight that this program is really a bottom-up approach program. You set your needs and we support. This means that you can provide some proposals that fits to your research needs, because we trust that you are the actors that are going to find solutions for the challenges of tomorrow. So the program mainly supports the mobility of research and innovation staff in 3 dimensions, being international, intersectoral. By intersectoral, I mean that it supports non-academic and academic collaboration, and interdisciplinary. So what we want is really to create some synergies among disciplines to facilitate innovation and ready to make solutions for the market. So by doing this, we really want to enhance collaboration worldwide and connect people, connect ideas, connect disciplines. So it goes beyond Europe, and you are the testimony that this is happening worldwide. Continue with the next slide. So in the next slide, we're going to look at the key novelties of the program. Before we had the RISE impact, we had the RISE program, and we have a few novelties with the Staff Exchanges, which is the successor of the RISE program. First, the program is now for a duration of 4 years. It has 360 person-months per project. Our secondments are ranging from 1 to 12 months per staff. And the secondments have to be mostly interdisciplinary. There is one novelty, however, is that you can also have same sector secondments within Europe up to 1/3 of the total amount of person months. Something that is quite interesting for you is that it's a unit cost. This means that it is less administrative burden for participants. So we have an envelope of 4,600 euros, which is split among the staff member for 2,300 euros and the organization for institutional costs. The budget for our present call is 75.5 million euro, and I strongly encourage you to apply because we have a very high successful rate. 1 out of 3 proposals are indeed funded. So I'm sure you want to know what's in for you. So we have an added value of our program, not only for the staff members, but also for organizations. So what I want to say before is that we really want to turn ideas into concrete products, services, and processes. We really have an entrepreneurship culture, and we really want to work with the business sector because we really think that you are key in transforming ideas into products and processes. So with the program, we are encouraging the building of new skills and competences. We are also encouraging interaction with a wide range of stakeholders. So it's really the opportunity for the staff members to network and to create long-lasting collaborations with peers and other researchers and research and innovation staff. We also have the chance to support the employability of research and innovation staff. Once our research and innovation staff join the program, in general, they have new career opportunities and they learn new skills by being in contact with their peers, which is quite an added value. Then another thing that I want to highlight is that you gain international exposure with other countries, with other continents worldwide. You build consortium and you really benefit from the experience and expertise of other organizations. Now, having said that, for organizations, you have the chance to benefit from this transfer of knowledge, collaborative networks, and you also enhance the research and innovation capacity of your organization. You can go to the next slide. Now, more pragmatically, I'll go very quickly to the eligible participants. So the consortium has to be built, first of all. So you need to have at least 3 legal entities in 3 different countries, 2 of which in a different EU member states or Horizon Europe associated country. For the non-academic sector, if organizations from the same sector are from the same sector, there must be at least one organization from a non-associated third country. You can go to the next slide. Eligible staff, that's quite simple because in fact we are very large in terms of eligibility. So you can, the first thing is that you have to be, the staff have to be involved in research and innovation, which is quite straightforward. So they can be researchers, but not only, they can also be administrative staff, managerial staff, technical staff. Second, you can also have researchers that are research and innovation staff that are at any stage of their career. So we really support from early career researchers to more experienced researchers. And last but not least, you have to be engaged in research and innovation activities for at least 1 month prior to the to be sent to your organization. Now, having said that, to be eligible, secondments must be ranging from 1 to 12 months. And they can also be splitted. So in case you have some kind of challenges, you can also do your secondments in several parts. Second, the staff needs to be divided. They need to be really committed to the program. They need to be devoted full time during their secondment. And last but not least, because we really want to encourage the transfer of knowledge, I'm sure you'll understand that we want the staff to return to their home organization. So you can go to the next slide, please. Okay, so now we're going to go to this table that sounds quite complicated, but it's not that complicated in fact. So you can see on the table that on the left side, you have the sending staff members organizations, and then you have the hosting organizations. So you can see that, first of all, we don't fund third countries to third countries secondments. That's the cross that you can see at the bottom on the right. Then, in general, we fund secondments that are between non-academic and academic organizations. When they are from, say, academic to academic organizations or from non-academic to non-academic organizations, the number of secondments has to be 1/3 of the total amount of secondments. You can go to the next slide. Okay, what does the staff exchanges fund? It's very simple. So it's a unit cost that's very simple to manage. It is split between the staff member and the organization. So the staff member has 2,300 euros allowance. So it's an allowance, it's not a salary. It goes on top of the salary of the secondee. And 2,300 euros go to the organization that is sending the staff. So it funds not only research, training, and networking, but also management and the indirect costs that are needed to manage the project. You can go to the next slide. Okay, now we're going to go and enter in the core of the presentation. And I think this is of interest to you if you are here today. So we're going to see how to concretely submit a proposal and what are the key criteria of evaluation so that you can really make the best proposal and multiply your chance to be selected. So everything is online. We have a funding and tender portal that is available, so you can see the link at the bottom of the slide. All calls are published there. So first of all, you need to find your call. Then you sign in the portal. You can, in order to be registered and receive what we call a PIC number. Then you can look in the funding and tender portal for your partners, and then you should apply, of course. So to help you and to support you in the process, so you can see here that there's the MSCA Staff Exchanges Call that is actually open now, and will close in March, early March 2023. So you have a couple of documents that can help you to submit your proposal. You have the guide of applicant, you have the MSCA work program and annexes, you have some proposal templates, you have the model grant agreement that is going to be the basis, the legal basis of your participation in the program. You even have some frequently asked questions where you can find responses to your queries. And you also have an online manual to submit your application, which is really very handy. You can go to the next slide. Okay, so you can see the present call is open, has been open on the 6th of October 22 and will end on the 8th of March 2023 for an amount of 77.5 million euros. So we have a slight increase of 7% as compared to 2021. Okay, so I already went through the guiding documents. You don't need to go again on this. Okay, so in terms of how your proposal will look like, it is divided in two parts. The first part is part A. So it is really structured data on your organization. It contains all the administrative information about the applicant organizations. And the part B is more technical. It is really about the content of your proposal, what you want to deliver, what you want to achieve as a consortium. Go to the next slide, please. Go to the next slide. Yeah, this is an info session that took place yesterday where I was moderating the discussion on the 7th of December. I left this slide because we are going to share the presentation that was delivered on our website. And you will be able to also see the testimonial of Mrs. Maria Fatima Lucas, who is a CEO of the company Zimvo. And she shared her experience as a non-academic participant in the program. So she really gave some tips and tricks on how to participate in the program, what were the benefits of the program for her company. And to name a few, what she said is that the program really allowed her company to take risks because of this top-up allowance. And she said that with this program, she was able to send some research and innovation staff from her company and to encourage them to acquire skills through exchanges. One of the advice she said is that you really need to plan your secondments and participation to the program. You really need to be organized and to ensure that the staff will be available for the secondments. In terms of let's say, administrative challenges, she said that that's quite straightforward because it's a unit cost program. And if you are organized, it should be fine for you as an applicant. So now I want to give you the key evaluation criteria, which are divided in 3 sections. So the first criteria is excellence. The second is about impact. And the third is about quality and efficiency of the implementation. So with the staff exchanges, of course, we value excellence in research and innovation. So first of all, the first advice is that you really have to explain the added value that you're going to bring with your consortium. So it should be more than the sum of the expertise of your consortium members. It should be really explaining the complementarity and synergies among partners. Second, you have to emphasize the originality and the innovative aspects of your proposal, meaning you have to explain the added value of your proposal and how you are going beyond the state of the art in your discipline. Then you have to highlight the 3I aspects, meaning that, as you saw before, the program is international, inter-sectoral, multidisciplinary. So you really have to emphasize this aspect and shows how with your consortium, you are going to build bridges among different countries, You're going to create synergies among different disciplines, and you're going to interact between the academic and the non-academic sector. Then in terms of impact, there are several things to be taken into consideration. It's all about impact, so really want, of course, to see and to witness how you are going to achieve the expected outcomes of your proposal. So one important aspect in this evaluation criteria is really to show how you're going to spread the news and disseminate the results of your research, not only with your target groups in the research and innovation world, but also with the general public. So you have to specify how you're also going to measure the results of what you intend to achieve. Then it's also about taking research further. So you have to explain the opportunities for individuals to acquire new skills, knowledge, and experience that advances their career over the secondaries you intend to send to hosting organizations. Last but not least, I want to highlight the need to really explain how you're going to deal with intellectual property. This should really not be neglected. You have to have a credible strategy for managing intellectual property so that it can help you to get some extra points in the evaluation. Now, in terms of implementation, which is the last criteria, we want to see how you are going to implement efficiently and effectively your proposal, your project. So one important point is the monitoring of the project and to see how you're going to mitigate the risk during the life duration of your project so that we can really see the monitoring of the progress achieved. You have to highlight what you want to achieve, how, by who. And these are very important parameters in the evaluation process. Then I advise you to highlight the strongest point of all your partners within the consortium, their research field, their which facilities they have to implement the project, which collaborations that you are going to build, and to prove and demonstrate that you have the appropriate environment to implement the project. Last but not least, you have to pay attention to the Gantt chart and really explain very well which deliverables you intend to provide and what are the key milestones of your project. So in a nutshell, what I can say about this slide is that the successful formula is really about excellence and implementation that are closely interlinked, and that should be implemented to have maximum impact. So you can go to the next slide. So here are a few tips and tricks that you can follow to multiply your chances of being successful. So first of all, this is quite straightforward, but still, you really have to closely follow the requirements and be sure that you are in line with the objectives and expected outcomes of our action. Second, you can follow the guidelines that are available on the website. So really read them carefully to be sure that you really get what has to be provided in the submission of your proposal. Then, because we are the European Research Executive Agency, you have to highlight how this is going to contribute to EU policy as well, and societal challenges, and how this is going to boost research and innovation also in partnership with other third countries. Don't hesitate to have a second opinion. So today we have Jenny, so you can contact Jenny, in case you want to have further information on how to submit your proposal. I think Jenny is very helpful. She's a very good ambassador of our program, very active, so don't hesitate to contact her. Then really, we want to have long-lasting impact. So I would really suggest you to show how this proposal will have an impact beyond the lifetime of the proposal. And then, yeah, in a nutshell, that are the tips and tricks that I want to give you today. We can go to the next slide. Okay, one important point, in case you are interested, you can really work as an expert in the evaluation process. So you can find further information on our website. This is a very good opportunity for you. We are looking for experts to evaluate our proposals in the evaluation phase. So in case you want and you're interested, please go on our website and you can find further information over there. You can go to the next slide. Okay, this we already dealt with it before. Don't need to go. Okay, so before to thank you for the presentation, I want to give you a few specific, information, because we are having a lot of non-academic organizations today, and I really want to emphasize the fact that this is really a business-oriented program. So really, as Jenny said earlier, we really want to transform innovative ideas into products. And this is very important to remember. The second thing that I want to tell you is that this program, which is facilitating mostly exchanges, is the first step towards other EU funding schemes. So in case you start with this program, this can give you access to other programs that are more complicated to be funded with. Another thing is that you will benefit from the expertise of researchers, of very highly qualified researchers. And with this, you will be aware of the latest trends in your industries, which is really, I think, key for innovation. And this can be transformed into really concrete products. Yeah, so in a nutshell, that's what I wanted to add. I want to thank you very much for your attention. I hope you really enjoyed the presentation and that it responded to your needs. And in case you have some questions, I'll be pleased to answer, if I have the answers, of course. So don't hesitate to ask your question if needed. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nancy, for this comprehensive introduction to the program. And as you said, 1 in 3 proposals are being funded, which I think is a great message for us to start the discussion. There's a lot of questions that are coming in, but I think want to hand over to our Thai colleagues who probably want to add. Rina, would you like to take the floor before we start the Q&A?
Thank you, Dr. Susani, and a very interesting program of the staff exchange. I think we have a little bit, but I'm not so sure before Q&A or now, but if we take it as the announcement of the Thailand grants for international graduates and also postdoc, it will be our kind of similar target groups. And thanks for this floor. I'd like to have some slide if Dr. Sai would share for me, please. This is the National Postdoctoral Postgraduate Training System of Thailand. We just have this one short slide of infographic telling you of the segment of the postgraduate after the master degrees or postdoctoral after the PhD degrees. And this is a 12-month grants giving for those graduates who are, if you are in the category a graduate from the top 100 university or the national labs and also the Nobel laureate labs, we have the budget for a total of 1 million in baht. Not so sure about in EU, but one EU is about 40 Thai baht. So this is for staying in both Thai and also as well as if you would like to, if for example, if you're from Europe countries or ASEAN countries here as well, you can, come here, stay in the Thai lab, Thai industry lab, and also you can go back to your country labs and then doing the kind of, the bridging of the knowledge between two countries. And for the categories of the required result, it will be mainly like both either or papers or patents or the industrial prototypes for shorts. And for the funding, we have two allocations, like the first 70% at a very first day of your contracts, and the 30% after you deliver the results to the programs. And I think this is for for next year information, starting early, like as early as February. We will have the website prepared ready for you. We call it postdocthailand.org. Yes, this is for the information. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rina. So of course, additional opportunities also from our Thai colleagues. Now we have, as I said, quite a few questions that have come in, specifically referring to Nancy's presentation about the MSCA Staff Exchanges call. And we heard the call is currently open. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, the deadline is the 8th of March. So there is, of course, still time to put in an application. And Nancy, if you allow me, I'll just go through the questions that are coming in, and please, everybody, keep sending your questions. We still have a little time, and a lot of them are referring, of course, to the eligibility criteria. First of all, I think we need to get this out of the way, refers to the status of the UK. Are UK institutions eligible to benefit? Is there a way maybe to involve UK institutions in an MSCA Staff Exchanges consortium? What is the situation, Nancy?
Okay, this is, you're not, this is, we are starting with a little sensitive issue. This is quite political, and the decisions are above my pay grade, but I can provide you a first answer. At the moment, the UK is considered as an associated partner. That means they cannot be beneficiaries per se. So to be clear, there is a difference between the beneficiaries who are receiving directly funds and associated partners who receive funds through beneficiaries. So for the moment, the UK are considered associated partners. So they can contribute as associated partners. There is a fund that has been set up by the UK government, and it funds secondments of the UK in the participation of the scheme. So yes, the UK can participate, but as associated partners for the moment. Discussions are still ongoing with regard to the, the legal partnership with the European Union. That's what I can say at this stage.
So I think simply, if I may, Suzanne, it just means that if you have a UK partner, they can still, join your consortium, but they will have to bring their own funding with them. So their funding will not be coming from the commission. Is that correct, Nancy?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Yes,
Thank you.
Correct.
Thank you. And that would then answer the question of our colleague here. I think that is Iola Owolabi, I think, who was asking exactly that question, to involve a UK partner. Thank you, Jenny, for clarifying that. So of course they're able to participate, but then, as you said, they would have to bring their own funds. In principle, though, there is no restriction on the nationality of the participants. There are more questions regarding eligibility from a colleague, David Hughes. If you just allow me to go to the Q&A, who has a few questions. First one, maybe a very simple one. This is someone who's already a professor emeritus, so retired. Would he or she still be able to participate actively in a staff exchanges consortium?
As I said earlier, we are accepting all secondaries from at any stage of their research career. At the same time, they have to have a clear link with the institution. So that means that there should be a kind of legal link between the entities. So they have to be hired somehow by the institution. Therefore, I don't know what is the contract of this professor, but there is a need to have a clear link with the institutions He cannot participate as an individual. He has to participate as a member of his institution.
Thank you, Nancy. Thank you. David, if I just stay with his question, he has some additional questions before we move on to other participants. David is wondering whether travel is included in the unit cost.
Yes, I think so, because, well, I prefer not to say. I'm not sure. I think so, but I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure, yes, that the traveling is part of the unit cost. Jenny, what is your opinion? That's my view, that it is part of the unit cost, because the core of our program is secondments. Therefore, I'm pretty sure that this is part of the unit costs.
Yes.
Jenny?
Yeah. Of course, it depends on the consortium that's being formed. But the idea really is that the funds that are going directly to the staff that is being exchanged basically is just a top off of the salary. So that means that you know then the travel fund should be separate.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Now, another question, which while we're staying at the issue of eligibility, is a question from Sanjeev Mohapatra. I think he's joining from Singapore, wondering whether Singapore is eligible for funding. I know the answer. Nancy, do you want to respond?
You can go with it. If you know the answer, then go for it.
Answer, Susan.
Singapore, unfortunately, is not eligible for the funds. Of course, as we keep saying, the program is open to participation by entities from anywhere in the world. But in the case of Singapore, Singapore is not eligible for funds because it is an industrialized country, and it is expected, just as the UK, as we heard, to bring their own funds when they are participating in a consortium. Now, another question from Michael Malim. He is wondering, and I think this looks again at the mechanics of the staff exchanges. He's wondering, can the sending institution send more than one person? Nancy.
Yes. You can send several secondees from one institution to the other.
Yeah, I can probably give a very good example from Thailand. We just had the Marie Curie Alumni Association gathering, and we noticed that one of the principal investigators, so he's an associate professor, he also included in their proposal his own master's and doctorate students. So it allowed them to go also to Europe, I think to Italy, and then to France as well, to be part of the consortium. So it was really good. And so now they are thinking of applying for the Marie Curie PhD or the Marie Curie postdoc because of that, because they were part of the MSCA Staff Exchange.
Exactly. So as we heard from Nancy, there's a certain number of person units. I think the number, is it 480? Am I mistaken? That's the number, correct? And,
yes.
And it is up to the consortium to decide amongst each other how they're sending members from the consortium to visit each other. So it's not just one individual from each consortium partner, but it is depending on what the project needs. It can be 1 or 2 or 3 or 5, just depending on what is of relevance to the project that everybody is working on together. Now, maybe we turn to some of the questions that are related to entrepreneurship. We have a question here from Milagrosa Rosel Balista. He or she, apologies, is an entrepreneur who is currently having a trade exchange with Italy. This relates to the import and export of designer products. So they're just wondering whether this is a program that they could use, because their current hurdle is to secure the COE. It relates to taxes. So they're just wondering, this is a program where they could find a solution to certain roadblocks related to trading Is that a program that is meant for this type of business?
Can you reformulate the question to be sure that I understand, because it looks quite complicated as a question. So
I read it out to you. So as an entrepreneur, at present, I'm having a trial trading with an Italian startup designer, imports and exports, and the roadblocks we are having concern a government office or desk to assist Italy startups to secure COE for us to maximize the GST. Is this a program?
You are using some acronyms that I don't know. Therefore,
me neither. I think this basically relates. Someone is trying to set up a trade relationship. They're trying to have a trade relationship between, which I assume is the Philippines and Italy. Would that be a program that is meant for that kind of to create business?
As long, I mean, it has to be related to research. So I mean, if there is a trade link, why not? But it has to have a research objective in a way. It cannot be only for trade relations.
I think that is the answer, perhaps, that is most helpful here, because I think my interpretation, maybe if the colleague who's typed the question, if we are misunderstanding your question, please send us a follow-up. But if this is a question related, if you're thinking that this could help you with setting up a trade link with Italy, then perhaps that would not be the correct program. As Nancy has said, there has to be a research angle to what the consortium is trying to achieve. Now,
maybe I can just add, Susan, just quickly, I think she's referring to the preferential trade agreement. So GST, I think with the Philippines and the EU, there used to be, I don't know if it's still active now. Maybe the other business people in the room can update us. But before, the Philippines used to have a preferential trade agreement with the EU that is, makes it easier to have this trade. So there are the tariffs are not that difficult. But I think to answer your question, Mila, if I can add, if you are just trying to create the design, perhaps, and you have you are becoming part of a consortium, then that's you can do that. However, the legal requirements will be the same. I mean, if you're going to import and export, whether you do it through this program or outside of this program, the legal requirements will be the same for sure. But then what you can do with this program is perhaps you can do the cooperation with the partners before you do the import and export.
Exactly. Yeah, I think it can be complementary, but really this is a research and innovation program. So the main objective is really to encourage research and innovation. If the trade aspect is part of it, why not? But the main focus is really research and innovation.
Yes. Okay. And maybe we just remind ourselves again, this is a program that is not meant for an individual applicant to apply for a grant so that he or she can carry out a research project, but this is an invitation to form a consortium with at least 2 other EU-based institutions, not individuals, but they have to be institutions. And as we heard, they don't have to be universities or research centers, but there's a lot of encouragement, as Nancy has emphasized, to reach out to SMEs, to other industry players. So it's about forming a consortium, and then you can carry out the research. And within that consortium, then the people that are moving can be from, and this is a question that Salomon Morales has asked, this don't only have to be experienced researchers, but they can be PhD students, they can be even master students, they can be technical staff. It just really depends on what's of value to the program. Maybe Jenny and Nancy, as you are the experts, we have a question. I think this can be interesting for everyone. There's someone asking, how difficult is it to find European partners to form a consortium? Maybe Nancy, what do you think should be the first steps, and then Jenny can come in with her advice as well.
I'm from the other side. What I can say is that you have the funding and tender portal where you can really browse for different EU partners there. Then maybe the best place would be Jenny, who may help. I mean, maybe she has some contacts with other NCP contact points, and she can help in liaising with them. But I would say, as far as I'm concerned, is that you can go to the portal, and there you can really browse for some partners, including EU partners. So we have this platform that allows to connect people.
Yes, and if I can add, I think the Chamber of Commerce, the European Chamber of Commerce of the Philippines is here, and they're also their presence is also felt in different parts of ASEAN. In Singapore, they're quite active. Also, the chambers of commerce of the individual member states, like Germany, is very active. For example, France, even the smaller countries of the EU are also very active in commerce. So I would say you seek out, the chambers of commerce and really just get together and find ideas. These soirees for Christmas. This is Christmas season. Maybe you'd like to attend them just to get more information and find opportunities to partner as well. On the other hand, of course, Sai is here. She represents PMU-B, and I think PMU-B will have access also to the Thai national contact point. And I will also try to provide information on the contact point of the other ASEAN countries as well when they are available. But if they are not available, of course, Susanna and I are available to answer your questions. And also to the other point, please check the EURAXESS website, for your host or for your partners, potential partners as well. So there are several opportunities that you can look at. But really, your limitation is really just your ideas. So come forth with your ideas and get yourself out of your silos as well. I think that's the most important thing. So if you are a research institution, please get to know also the business sector. And if you are in the business sector, get to know also the academe or the research institutions in your area. Also find out the small, medium enterprises in your area. Usually they have these big ideas and they just need to collaborate.
Thank you, both of you. Maybe if you allow me, I just quickly want to share something, because I've seen a comment from Professor Hughes in the comments, who's saying there's a lot more Southeast Asian interested partners than there are European, and that is not the case, of course. Of course, it's always difficult. We are all, Jenny and myself included, based in Southeast Asia, and it's very difficult to reach out to partners in Europe. The MSCA Staff Exchanges is a very, as we've heard, a very attractive tool, and it is definitely on the top of the agenda of many European institutions that are very busy forming a consortia right now. There's a lot of interest there, and it's just really now the point to make that connection to European partners. And as Jenny said, it's important that you already activate the network that you have. A lot of you will have partners in Europe, and they, I can assure you, will be aware of this call. So it would be up to you to now reach out to them, remind them that you're interested in being part in a staff exchange consortium, maybe, push them a little bit if they're a little bit hesitant, or you use tools like this one here. This is the MSCA matchmaking platform. And I think this is really a fantastic tool. If you can see here on the right-hand side, you can see here there are people that have, or institutions that have registered from all over the world. And this is kind of like an on-demand matchmaking tool. So you can register, and then you can invite someone that you're interested in for a one-on-one session. So you could use this. I would really encourage you to put your details here. You can register until the 5th of May next year, and then you can set up meetings as and when you like with potential collaborators. And that, of course, would be a first very important step for you to take. And as Jenny said, you can always also reach out to us. We received this question in the chat group. We will, of course, make sure that you will receive the slides and you will receive a recording of today's session. And we will make sure that you have a link to this matchmaking platform that I just showed you, so that you can really make the most of this opportunity. But let me just say that again, because I don't want you to walk away with a negative impression. This is a very fantastic opportunity. There's all kinds of activity in Europe happening, and this is the most opportune time for you to really contact your European partners or use the matchmaking platform and become part of this consortium in the future.
By the way, the matchmaking platform is a project of NCPs, of national contact points like myself. So when you also access the platform, you also activate your link to the national contact points in your area or also in Europe, depending on where you want to go. So that's also a very good, important point. And also, I just like to say, because there are still some questions in the chat. If you are an entrepreneur, yes, you can be a potential participant to the project. If you are part of a company, yes, your businesses, your business or the business that you represent can also be a part of the company. So don't let that stop you. So you can also be, of course, a research institution or an academic institution. So that's how inclusive the MSCA Staff Exchange is really. So if you still need more information, please write to us at ASEAN@EURAXESS.net. And I think I will bring in Sai. Sai, you have a comment or a question?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm still like listening and well, for PMU-B, we would love to connect with like the national platform and this matchmaking. So I kind of feel on behalf of Thailand how we can expand this further toward our entrepreneurs, our SMEs, our industry, and linkage toward the researcher, because right now, well, we have a lot of Thai participants a lot here. So if you see that for that Rina was proposing on our postdoc program, so that is like the national one. But we want for you to think further. How can you link to the international businesses or international researchers? So that would be a second level. So first you can start with the Thai level or national level, but need to think further like that. So we want to try to have a program to help grooming, capacity building you to do the linkage. So this is a very, very good opportunity, I think. And all the information out there, just try and connect and form consortium. Yeah. Okay. So just want to give encouragement.
A last point maybe is also that there are many EU delegations all around the world. You can also reach out to them and ask them, to connect you with some key partners and some key DGs within the European Commission to help you to find your consortium members. I think they can also be resourceful.
And also maybe another one, because actually, well, this is for Thailand. So for Thailand, we also have like ambassador, like science ambassador delegate in the EU in Brussels. So they also like willing to help promote and reach out to the EU like delegates or partners as well. So there are many ways to reach out. So we'll try to summarize it, maybe Rina, and put it in our website as well as linkage to the EURAXESS website regarding this.
Very good. You also have like some kind of networks like Business Europe or this kind of EU networks that you can reach out, and they have many members over there that you can form consortium with.
Thank you so much. So as we hear lots and lots of opportunities for you to link up with potential European collaborators, we've just come to the end of our session. Just before I hand back to Jenny, just a reminder, we will publish the slides and the recording of the session on the EURAXESS ASEAN website. So just keep looking at it. It might take a couple of days because the site is being upgraded at the moment. And Jenny and I will make sure, together with our colleagues from Thailand and together with Nancy, to add additional information of what we just shared in the Q&A. We'll add some of the websites of the matchmaking platform, of potential industry partners of the chambers of commerce, of the embassies, and as we heard, also the Thai mission to the EU in Brussels, for example, as a potential interlocutor for you to start working on your consortium. For me, thank you so much, and I'll hand back to Jenny.
Thank you so much, Susana. So before we close, I just would like to thank the European Chamber of Commerce in the Philippines, the Marie Curie Alumni Association in Southeast Asia, of course, PMU-B, Office of National Higher Education, Science, Research, and Innovation Policy. I hope I got that right, Sai. And of course, the European Research Executive Agency. Nancy, thank you so much for your time. So I know that you still have a lot of questions, so please get in touch with us. And if you also look at the YouTube channel of EURAXESS, we will be uploading as well. And you will have more information also on the MSCA and other programs of the EU. So keep in touch with us. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a good afternoon and enjoy yourselves. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.